Let's talk about the meaning of the area underneath the curve. Suppose that f of t is the marginal cost for producing a certain item, measured in dollars per day. Here's a graph of the function. The question is, what does the area underneath the curve represent? The area under the curve represents the accumulation of units. What units? We can find the units by taking the function units, which is dollars per day, multiply it by the independent variable units, which is days. The day unit cancels, and we're left with just the unit dollar. So the area underneath the curve represents the accumulation of dollars. In this case, the rate function is dollars per day. As days goes on, we're basically adding on how much money, how many dollars each day cost. So you're adding all those days together to get the total cost over that many days. So the answer is the area underneath the curve means the total cost accumulated between t equals 0 and t equals t. Let's look at another example. Suppose for this example, the function is the number of marriages per year. That's this red curve here. The question we want to answer is, what's the meaning of the area underneath the curve? Well, it's the accumulation of units. What units? You find the units accumulated by taking the y units, which is marriages per year, multiplied by the t units, which is years. The years cancel, and so the unit we get out is just marriages. So f of t is the number of marriages per year. Each year that goes by, more marriages are accumulated. So finding the area underneath the curve is like adding up all those marriages from each year to get the total number of marriages over a certain number of years. So the answer is the area underneath the curve represents the total number of marriages accumulated between time equals 0 and t. Here's another example. The red curve, represents the number of kilowatts used per hour. Again, the question is, what's the meaning of the area under the curve? It represents the accumulation of units. What units? We can figure it out by taking the y units multiplied by the t units, kilowatts over hours per hours, times hours, and the hour unit cancels, leaving behind just kilowatts. So the area underneath the curve represents kilowatts. So the function represents how many kilowatts are used each hour. If you add those all up, the area underneath the curve represents the total number of kilowatts used over the full time interval from 0 to t. So this is how you interpret the area underneath the curve.